Yo, what up, 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 what up? So today we're going to talk about a concept here that is pretty important for crypto, but also important for freedom in general, right? And it's called censorship resistance. But real quick on price. Do you feel better now that that Bitcoin's at 41,000, even though it was bouncing at 39, whatever, coming down close to 38? What was the difference? It's like $1,500 on a $40,000 asset. You know what I mean? You really got to get in the mindset of buying when the price is down. I don't know what it is about people. They don't want to buy it when the price is down. They want to wait until it goes up. And then when it goes up, either they buy at the high price or they're like, oh, I'll just buy it when it comes back down again. That's crazy thinking. If you're thinking like that, please do yourself a favor. Stop thinking like that. All right. So anyway, censorship resistance. I was watching this Russell Brand video. I like Russell Brand. I was watching him talk about the whole Elon Musk buying Twitter thing, and people are like up in arms about Elon Musk buying Twitter, and it's kind of weird, bro, because Twitter has already been heavily censored. It's already been heavily censored. People's accounts get taken down all the time for no reason. If you're a rapper and you're talking about click, clack, pat, 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 killing and all that stuff, it's all good. Pimping girls, it's all good. Yeah, keep that on Twitter. That's gravy. You know what I'm saying? But, if you're talking about, the dichotomy of politics that exists, or the dichotomy of, economics that exists, the haves and the have-nots, you know what I'm saying? If you're talking about inequality in the justice system, or, racial justice, or, things like that, you can get canceled. You know what I'm saying? And if you're on the other end of this spectrum, where you're you're just on some right wing hype, Second Amendment enthusiast type person, talking about how much you hate government, you can also get canceled. You know what I'm saying? But talking about killing others individually, selling others individually for profit, selling cocaine and drugs, or, a number of things, right? It's all good. It's all good, right? So what are we really talking about here, I think that under Trump, you had a lot of right-wing folks acting out of preference and not principle, and wanting to exercise the governmental power of the party in charge at the time to censor or limit, the speech or intentions of others politically. And now that the tide has changed, you have the left wing now acting in preference, not principle, to do the same thing. Look, if you actually legitimately, believe in freedom as a basic human right, then that means that what I'm able to do should be protected, and I would protect and preserve the right for someone else to do what I do, even if it's not in the same way I do it, right? That's a principled stance, right? So if, for example, here's how this can play out in the real world, is that if I want to censor somebody else, let's say Alex Jones, right? If I want to say, look, Alex Jones can't be on Twitter, he's banned, blah, 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 right? And then when the tide shifts, right? Because I just didn't agree with Alex Jones's perspectives, and they seem threatening to my rights or my lifestyle or whatever it is, right? And so I want him gone off Twitter, right? Okay, Twitter bans him. Okay, now I'm like happy, yay, Twitter banned him. But let's say the tide shifts. There's a new power in play, right? And let's say somebody like Cenk Uygur, right? Let's say Cenk Uygur, Young Turks. I don't know if you know of him, but let's say he is on Twitter and he's saying things like, take away all the guns and da 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 da. And I feel like my lifestyle is threatened. You know what I'm saying? By what he's saying, right? And if the power that is over Twitter decides to take away his platform on Twitter, if I'm principled, then I would not complain one bit. I wouldn't complain at all. I would say, well, that's their right to censor whoever, based on whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, that's their right. I would not complain if I was principled. But if you're not acting on principle and you're just acting on preference, right? If you're not acting on principle and you're just acting on preference, then when it happens, when what I want to happen to somebody else happens to me, I disagree. And I'm up in arms and I protest about it. And I raise, hell about that happening to me, even though I wanted it to happen to somebody else. Jesus taught the golden rule. Matter of fact, in every single religion around the world, you can find this principle within their text or practices or whatever, or tenets of the religion. Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself, right? Like literally, that's how we can preserve freedom, is making sure that I have no more power over you than you have over me, and I cannot limit your expression any more than you can limit mine. I may disagree with that expression, and that expression may actually be legitimately harmful to my way of life, but on principle, I should allow you to voice it, because at that point, it's just words. You know what I'm saying? It's just words at that point. Now, don't get me wrong. We have the ability for the words to progress into actions that can be harmful, but that is the price that we have to pay for preserving yours and my right to express ourselves. Because if we decide to limit our expression in any way based on preference, not on principle, right? Then that can go in the other way, where now I can be silenced, even though what I'm saying is not harmful to you, but it's beneficial to me, right? And so, there's a saying where you can't protect yourself from sadness without protecting yourself from happiness as well. You know what I mean? And that right there is where we're getting to. So, whoa, what does all that have to do with crypto, Teddy? Look, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general operates on a model that's censorship resistant. Whoa, I know there's some people out there that's loving to censor, and their mind's like, what, censoring, what, that's crazy, you can't censor it, oh my God, that's terrible, Here's why, right? It's because, the power that we enumerate to anybody in power, you know what I mean? If we give them power or privilege to do anything, when that power shifts and somebody else is there, they get that power too. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, let's say the most noble human being on the planet was given the power to govern over everybody. That's awesome, as long as that most noble human being on the planet is in power. But once a less than the most noble human being on the planet is in power, what if they make mistakes? Using the power that we gave to the most noble person on the planet. You know what I mean? Now we have room for danger, extreme danger, state-sanctioned danger to occur against citizens of a state, a country, region, a planet, right? So it's important that in terms of the way we express ourselves, which the Supreme Court ruled that money is speech, and you can express yourself with money as you wish. The kind of car you drive, the kind of clothes you buy, you know what I'm saying? This is your expression of money, the food you eat. I mean, this is the expression of yourself, right? What you purchase with your money is expressive of you. And, are we limited in our ability to express based on the money that we have? Sure, we are. You know what I'm saying? But still, you can find an option, a cheaper option that is still expressive of your particular taste, or maybe it's expressive of your particular financial situation. There's guys who made very incorrect choices in terms of expressing themselves in their financial situation at a time where they really couldn't afford to do something, and they did it anyway. And that was incorrect, but still they were able to express themselves. And so having money on a system that doesn't allow anybody to censor the expression of that person is very important. It's extremely, extremely, extremely important. Now, when you are on a platform and you call for all Russian bank accounts to be frozen, you know what I mean? If you're a Russian in the United States and you sent money back home, whether it's Bank of America or Wells Fargo, if I'm jumping on Twitter saying, Wells Fargo, you have a duty to censor all those expressions of money and speech and cancel all those Russian bank accounts. Now I'm calling on a power to act on my preference, not necessarily my principle. You know what I'm saying? My preference says, I think we should go this far in our extreme expression of disagreement with and dissatisfaction with the current status quo. And I call on you, Twitter daddy, bank daddy, TV daddy, to save the day. You're opening up this precedent for this exact same thing to happen to you once the regime changes. You know what I mean? You're acting on preference, not principle. Would you want somebody, let's say we were still living under Trump, which, whatever, Biden, Trump, but let's say we were living under Trump and he's like, what are you for LGBTQ rights? Well, guess what? We're censoring your bank account. Strip it, Wells Fargo. Well, shoot, you know what I mean? If you were okay with it happening to somebody else based on your disagreement with them, you know what I mean? And their expression, right? Then you can't complain. You'd be a hypocrite. And that's what a hypocrite is someone who would complain now that it's happening to you. You know what I'm saying? Even though you wanted it to happen to somebody else, you're a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite, 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 hypocrite. You're one of those. You know what I'm saying? You got to act on principle, not preference. Would you want this happening to you? You know what I'm saying? Now, look, Bitcoin is not meant to fix all the problems. Interpersonal interactions, communications, relationships, these are still things that human beings are highly flawed in participating in. Highly flawed. You know what I mean? We make many grave mistakes in these kinds of things. There's no system that is going to fix you as an individual in the way that you deal with other individuals unless you take it upon yourself to improve yourself and develop yourself, right? Self-development is the basis self-improvement is the basis for community development. That's what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. So, I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to fix it all magically, right? But what I'm saying is that you have to be in agreement with a platform that promotes freedom, justice, and equality for all people, regardless of race, creed, class, and color. Once we start breaking those lines and saying that these people deserve this principle of freedom, but these people don't, right? Once we decide, oh wow, we're morally superior to be able to say that, then when the power shifts, because we live in a democracy, and last time I checked, hopefully, I don't know, you know what I mean? I guess you can call it like a corporatocracy or whatever. But when the pendulum shifts, as it does, you know what I'm saying? You can't be mad when they say that it's your turn to be censored. It's your turn for your favorite spokesperson to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad, or else you'd be a hypocrite. And I don't think you would want to be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you'd want to be that if you knowingly anyway. But if you're of those people who would say, well, I don't care. I still want it to happen, and I don't want it to happen to me. I still want it to happen to the others, and I don't want it to happen to me. You know what I mean? And I have nothing for you. You know what I mean? There's no help for you. you're actually a terrible human being. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to judge here. You know what I'm saying? But if that's the principle that you're taking, you're pretty, in terms of, as far as human beings go, you're pretty bad. You know what I mean? So, you know, Bitcoin, being that there's no bank daddy to complain to say, hey, you should stop doing this, you know what I mean? Then there's no bank daddy that would do the opposite. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, it's censorship resistant. That's what allows the freedom of, you know, exchanging, you know, monetary transactions via Bitcoin, but also the exchange of information via depositing records and information on the blockchain, which is what NFTs are. That's what NFTs are, you guys. I don't know if if you think it's something else, that's what it is. You know, an immutable way, censorship-resistant way, decentralized way of exchanging information rather than coin. You know what I'm saying? It's just that people are paying a whole lot of money for these NFTs, whether it's justified or not. You know, that's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm saying? I don't got $2 million to spend on an NFT. So shoot, I'm not buying an NFT for $2 million. You know, would I buy an NFT for $2 million? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's an NFT out there. I would. I didn't buy CryptoPunks at $500. So dumb. You know what I mean? I thought it was overpriced then. I'd have, you know, 400 grand for every $500 I spent. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, you know? So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents. It's censorship resistant. The Elon Musk Twitter jump off, Bitcoin, you know, you as a person, as a human being, developing yourself or devolving into some kind of preferential, unprincipled, you know, jerk. You know what I'm saying? So to you. I love you. Peace.